Hi, I'm Steph from Stitching with Steph, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Stitch with Me week 4. It is an unbranded canvas. It is a Geisha design. The canvas count is 11 count, 46 by 66 centimeters. It consists of 26 colors. There is a link in the description for the particular design, but I was only able to locate a counted canvas and pattern, as this particular image has been in my stash for a while and I just now started working on it. So let's go ahead and dive right into this Stitch with Me.
All right, guys, we are back with another Stitch with Me. As you can see, we are going to be working on 14 still. So this is what we worked on last time, was this. As you can see, we're probably going to have to rethread at some point during this Stitch with Me, probably within the first 5 minutes, but that's okay. So color number 14, according to our little chart here, is color 819, so DMC 819. So yeah, what's everyone doing today besides us stitching? I'm trying to get all my filming done. I'm not filming on my normal filming days because my next week is going to be kind of like hectic, just because of oops, sorry guys, I hit my stand. Sorry about that. Like my kids' school. It's like the last couple of weeks of school. We're prepping for summer vacation, all that fun stuff. And as you can see, I'm doing our Stitch with Me's going forward on um, a frame. There we go. I'll try to get this part here done. It's not pertinent right now. This canvas is pretty large. Like, I feel like I'm not in a rush for that right now, but it should help with our stitches, because this particular canvas, I have to do a full stitch before I move on to the next one. For some reason, as you're stitching more and more, it gets a little bit tighter. This is an 11 count, so I'm not sure as to why. Like, as we were starting to get more thread in the holes, it tends to just get a little tight is all. So no big deal. We're here for it today. So this weekend is Mother's Day. Does anybody else have any plans for Mother's Day? Whether you have kids yourselves or you're going to be celebrating with family, stuff like that. Typically, I do gardening on Mother's Day, but my ding-dong self, this past paycheck that I was going to use to go get all my plants, instead of setting my payment for my school tuition for the end of the month, like make the arrangement to debit my account at a certain date, my foolish self went ahead and paid it in full on that day. So that was $1,000. So I was like, well, I guess I'm pushing back my gardening a bit. And like here in Colorado, the reason why I wanted to do it on Mother's Day is, one, that's what I do every year, except for this year. That's not what I'll be doing. And two, this is like the big weekend that people will start going to the gardening centers, because we're past our frost dates. And like, what mom doesn't like gardening, or what mom doesn't like flowers, right? Most of us like that kind of thing, or at least plants in general. So yeah, but it's okay. It's only delayed by 1 week. No big deal. Hopefully, we have several nurseries around town that I can go to. So if one doesn't have it of what I'm looking for, I'm sure I can go somewhere else and find the plants. All my sunflowers are doing pretty well. And it's so funny because I kind of let the birds eat the seeds. And then I did harvest a lot of seeds from last year. They're the big ones, like the mammoth ones. And I have so many of them germinating in my beds right now. Well, not even germinating. I would have to say that they're actually doing pretty good. They're growing pretty well. So what I'm going to do is just wait for them to grow a little bit more, give them a little extra time, and I want to transplant them along my fence line. just because I live on a corner house and people like to look in our yard and look at my garden beds that line the fence, and that's fine. But like my neighbor to the side of me, on the one side that I do have a neighbor, and to the back of me, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they're out there watching a lot and I don't like that. So I'm just gonna create a privacy fence with big old sunflowers. That's what I do during the season is I create privacy fences with plantation, so and vegetation. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna probably do the weekend after. But this weekend, nothing really. Just filming, getting ready for my work week, planning for Mother's Day, which I'm pretty laid back when it comes to Mother's Day. My only rule is, like I told my husband, this is my one day where I get a break. Like my husband's and kids, my husband's plural. I don't have two, I only have one. But my husband and kids, I tell them, like, I just want to relax. I don't want to deal with cooking. I don't want to deal with cleaning. I just want to craft and I just want to watch TV. And I just want to exist, if that makes sense. So, yeah, they're pretty good about like stepping up to the plate and doing that and all that fun stuff. Yeah, not too shabby. I feel like when I do it stitch this way, they come out way neater, as you can see. And then I feel like I'm stitching a lot faster, so we'll probably be able to get a lot more done. I'm going to pause you so that way I can rethread a new thread. Like I said, I kind of figured it was going to be about 5 or 6 minutes in. So bear with me. I'm going to get a new piece of thread. All right, I rethreaded, guys. Sorry about that. It's so funny because it's like my husband's off today. And I'm like, he talks so loud. And I'm just like, it can be perceived as yelling. And I'm just like, do you hear your volume? He's like, what? I'm just talking. And I'm like, you are so loud. Like, are you, and I get it. It's like an ADHD thing because sometimes I'm super loud and I just get really loud about things that I'm excited. And my husband is typically a quiet person. So when he does talk, it's like, I don't think he realizes how loud he is, which I think is hilarious. I'm probably going to switch hands actually, just because that way you guys can get a better view. Yeah, but other than that, nothing much is going on in my land. Just hanging out. We turned on our irrigation in the front. We had a lot of rain this past week. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, guys. I keep hitting myself. I don't know why today. So we turned on the irrigation in the front. My husband, it's currently running right now for about 20, 30 minutes. I like deep soaking my grass just because it helps your roots grow deeper. What people don't realize is if you only water 10, 15 minutes, several times a day, your roots stay closer to the surface of dirt. So what that does is during hot, dry months, that's why you're having a hard time keeping your grass green. It kind of starts turning like that, not brown, but it gets like that grayish color to it. And it's because your roots aren't deep. So if you water like really long during the springtime, your roots go deep. So it taps into the deeper water and it stays green, and you can keep the same watering schedule during the summertime, right? So during the summertime, I only water like every other day for about 30 minutes each section. And then my grass stays really lush and green all year round. So that's what I do instead of watering 10, 15 minutes. Like that doesn't do anything for your landscaping and vegetation. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why do you have grass? I have to have grass in my front yard. And then I have some in the back for my pets and kids. But other than that, I do raised gardening. So yeah, no big deal. And it also keeps your landscape cooler too. We lived in New Mexico for a while and we had hardscape. And so in our front yard and in the backyard, we had hardscape plus planters. And then we had, um, what else did we have? We had like a garden, stuff like that. So in New Mexico, I converted our hardscape over only because, um, when I say the color brown is not a good neutral palette for me anymore, any browns or tans or anything like that, it's just because it was the desert, and that's pretty much what you see out there is browns and tans, dirt. So like I planted drought tolerant trees and shrubs and stuff like that. And we did drip irrigation that conserved our water too. So I had a pretty lush garden in New Mexico. It was kind of like an oasis in the middle of the desert. And people are always like, how do you get stuff to grow out there like that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do, I guess. So, and luckily my mom was a gardener, so I learned a lot. Learned a lot. So, like today, it is in the 80s, and we were in the 40s last week. And I'm just like, we cooked breakfast today. Well, my husband cooked breakfast, and I was like, oh, because food smells, like if they linger in the air, is one of the triggers for my migraines. And heat, and guess what deadly combination we have today? Heat and food smells. So we have the house opened up right now to get the smell out so we can turn on our central AC. I'm just like, because there's nothing worse when I have stuff that I need to get done. Like I have a lot of filming I need to get done the next several days and editing. I have my final that's due. I need to do that. That's due tomorrow. What's today? Yeah, it's due tomorrow. No, 2 days. It's due on Monday. I was like, I don't even know the day, guys. It's due in 2 days. Sorry, night shift problems. I always forget what the day is. Um, so I have quite a bit to do. So I've been trying to knock out my filming today and yesterday. But yeah, no biggie. It can get done. That's the nice thing about Stitch with Me is I get to work on my projects, film and edit, and have like a little bit of me time. Like I think that's why my husband doesn't really say anything about like me doing my filming and my stitching because he goes like last night we were watching TV. We were watching the Death Note, and I was like, I just can't stop stitching. It's like I don't know what it is. I love it. And he's like, it's because it's like a stress relief for you. He's like, you get to make something nice. He goes, and you're enjoying yourself. He goes, it's a stress relief for you. So like some people work out and some people like stress eat, some people sleep. He's like, you cross stitch. I was like, yeah, that's true. Ouch. And I keep hitting my hand on the left side, as you can clearly see, because it moves my whole stand, but it's all good. No worries. So yeah, I was working on my large koi project last night, and I parked more threads because I'm working in a certain section, and I'm like, this section's taking me forever, but I'm doing it like kind of in a frame. So yeah, let's see, what else did we do? Nothing much really. We just hung out yesterday. My husband and daughter, it was great because my daughter, she did like a presentation because she was like, she wants a fish, right? Guys, when I say this girl was serious, because she tends to be a little impulsive. So I was like, I need to teach her how to get something that she actually wants versus like how to determine if it's an impulse thing or if it's something she really wants, right? So like last night, she put together like a whole presentation with information packets on why she wants a betta fish with a 10-gallon tank as her graduation gift. And when I tell you that girl came with the facts, guys, like she had a spreadsheet and she knows that I ask a lot of questions in her little presentation. She's like, please refrain from asking questions. We will have an appropriate time for questions. And I was just like, why do I feel like you're giving a presentation to like a business meeting? And so I just wanted her to do the research and I wanted her to determine like if that's really what she wanted and to figure out how much it was going to cost and like, teaching kids that responsibility part, right? So, I told her the only exception is we're not going to go out and buy everything at once because it's going to cost a pretty penny what she wants. And so I told her, I was like, we're okay with getting this for you, but we're going to give you money out of every paycheck that you're going to save, right? You're going to save it. And when we have enough to go and to get everything we need, then you can go and get it. I was like, your job is to not touch that money because I'm trying to teach her how to be like save for things and be responsible with her finances. And she goes, oh, okay. She goes, I can do that. And I know she can. And again, I'm teaching her how to control that impulsivity. You know what I mean? Because that's the hard part with our ADHD. We're very impulsive. And that's how I learned how to control mine when I was younger was I have a rule for myself. If I want something longer than, so say it's food, right? Because I tend to be impulsive like food and buying things. And my husband's the same way too. Our whole family's that way, which is why we have to be very careful. Um, I will be like, okay, well, this is what I want. And then what I'll do is I'll like add it to a cart or I'll make a list of things I want to buy, for example. Um, so then what I'll do is I'll make a little list and then I'm like, okay, if I still really want it in like a week or two, then I'll buy it, right? So for example, I found like this counted cross stitch Harry Potter pattern that I want to buy. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit on it. And if I still want it by next payday, I'm going to buy it, right? Guys, it's been a week already. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so cute. It's like, it's a Harry Potter sampler that I want to get for myself because I started reading the books. I mean, I've always liked Harry Potter, but now that I read the books, like I'm a fan, y'all. Like I get why there's the diehard Potter fans. Like I get it. It's a really good series. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Harry Potter now. Like 20 years too late, right? But I love it. So yeah, that's what I do is like I kind of just wait. I try not to impulsively buy or impulsively do things because it can go bad very quickly. And that's what I had to teach like my daughter and my boys. My husband is the same thing. Like our whole house is ADHD, guys. When I mean that, I mean our whole family, which is probably why me and my husband have gotten along so well together. It's like when you get two neurodivergent people together, guys, it's just the entertainment doesn't stop. It's like we could talk about anything and everything all at the same time. And then it's like you could be doing your thing and I can be doing my thing, but we're doing things together. It's funny, really. But that's how I had to like teach everyone in our household to deal with that impulsiveness because like my husband's been diagnosed probably about 6 months now and he wasn't taught how to deal with it and so he's learning and I'm just like, well, you got to figure it out because you got to help your kids too, you know what I mean? Like I feel like people don't understand a lot of the times neurodivergencies and it's absolutely frustrating when I hear people say, well, we didn't have these things back in my day. Oh, no, no, no. You had them. It was called undiagnosed. Because I promise you, they were there because, for example, anxiety, depression, autism, neurodivergencies, ADHD, they were all there because I have a lot of personality traits of my dad, where things have to be done a certain way and being like anxious and overwhelmed sometimes when things get changed at the last minute. Again, that's like the ADHD, right? Like we like to be impulsive, but at the same time, we got to be careful because then if we finally come up with a plan and we're focused on the plan and then things change, we're like, ugh, and then we just want to give up. And then our executive dysfunction kicks in, right? So it's like my dad was like that. And when I say my dad, people were always like, your dad's such a free spirit. Most people with ADHD are like, we're very bubbly or we're kind of outgoing, but reclusive at the same time. It's a very weird dynamic. But when I say it's always been there, we just gotten better at testing and diagnostics, right? Um, so that's what I mean is like it is very clear that it's on my dad's side of the family. So because we're all like this, to be honest, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, I'm just like, well, I know where I got it from. And it's so funny because it's like, this week I got like a little report because we did like some genetic testing. Like I opted in for some genetic testing, and I'm what's called an ultra metabolizers of medications. So there's only like 20, like less than 20% of people in the world are ultra metabolizers. And what that means is a lot of medications don't work for me because the protein that my liver produces to break down medications is produced too fast. So most people have one functioning allele. I have two high functioning alleles in my genetics. So I always used to tell my doctors like the medicine isn't working or like it works for a little bit but not as long. Like my ADHD meds, I have a pretty high dose for me because it would work for a little bit. So what we did is we started off at the lowest dose and it took us like a good 6 months to find a dose that somewhat works for me. And she's like, well, this is kind of high. So I have an appointment with her on Monday and I'm going to give her my test results that my primary care physician did, just so she now knows why I have such a high dose. So yeah, like I have to be careful with like antifungal medications, anti-transplant medications, pain medications, like nervous system medications, stuff that helps like with seizures, blood thinners. I have to be careful with because I have a high clotting factor according to my genes. Guys, when I say if you can get genetic testing, get it done. It's like it teaches you so much about yourself and it helps with your health so much better. If your office is like, hey, we're doing a test, like, do you want to opt in? There's no harm in opting in and getting that genetic testing done. I know some people are afraid because they're like, I don't want my information out there. Well, no offense, you don't even have your information, which is why you're probably struggling. So what are they going to do with your genetic information to tell you if you process medications too fast, right? All right, I'm going to pause you real fast, guys, because I got a knot on the backside of my canvas. I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see right here, I ended up having to do like a half stitch because I got that knot and I couldn't get it out. It was like a triple knot. I don't even know how that happened. So I just brought it over here and I'm going to stitch all this and then finish that half. So yeah, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool learning that about my genetics, which will hopefully help me in the future. Cause like I've had a couple of surgeries where, like I had my gallbladder removed and it's like my pain medication wasn't working right. And it's like, it would work for just a couple of hours. Sorry about that, guys. I hit my mic. Um, it would work for like a couple of hours and then it would wear off, but I wasn't allowed to take any more than like one pill or whatever the prescription was because I know how bad it can be for you to take medications outside of what they're prescribed for. Does that make sense? So I kind of like just suffered through the pain when like I had my gallbladder removed. So I would fall asleep because the medicine would hit me really fast. Duh. Metabolizes quickly, right? Now I know this. And then I would sleep for like 1 or 2 hours and then I would wake up in pain again. And then I would suffer through the pain for several hours until my next dose was due. And it was just, it's miserable. I went through my whole life like that, but now I have answers and I can, like, there's scientific proof on why I require higher dosing. Um, and I really appreciate that. Like, I feel like having that information in hand, I can present that to any doctor now and be like, hey, you have to give me higher doses because of this, you know, which is nice. So I feel like going forward, anytime if I have to have a procedure or anything, I feel like maybe I just won't be suffering. I'll be honest. That's why, um, I just I kind of hold out until I have to have a medical procedure done. Like I had a torn meniscus disc in my knee, a sports injury when I was younger, and I was dreading it because it was like I already knew nothing was going to work for me and I was going to be in pain, and lo and behold, that's what happened. Like I was bedridden for about a week because I just couldn't move because my pain meds didn't work. So that kind of sucked, to be honest. But again, I rather have the answers late than never, right? And suffering my whole entire life. Now I have answers and I'll be able to let my doctors know appropriately and they can document my files now. And I just thought it was really cool. And it was a test they were actually running during COVID. They're like, "Hey, we're wanting to do this test." So like essentially another one of my genes, it allows my cells to reproduce really fast essentially. So what happens is like I feel like I'm sick all the time, but it's not really me being sick. It's my body fighting the same cold for so long, which makes sense because I've always felt that way. Because my cells are reproducing so fast that it tries to fight the viruses very quickly. And then I have a delayed mRNA, mRNA, and RNA like cell reproducing, which is think of those cells as like the photocopy machines of your body. My body doesn't replicate those very quickly. So it's like I actually have a slower replication system than most. So that test was done like, I think in 2021, and I just got the results back. 4 years, that's how long they were doing this study. Um, so what that means is for me, like with my COVID virus stuff, right? Like my immunization, I had to get more boosters because of that. Two, which I didn't know that's why I got extra boosters because of the study that they did. Whatever, cool, awesome. But also what that means is my body, when I get infected with a virus, it's not replicating really fast in my body. So it doesn't take over like cells in my body and replicates because that's what a cold virus does, right? Like it comes in and starts replicating in your body. So my photocopier genes essentially are slow. So between that and me being an ultra metabolizer, I don't really give colds a chance. My body doesn't give colds and viruses a chance to replicate very quickly. So if I end up getting really sick due to like a viral infection, it had to be a pretty bad infection according to my like genetics, like my cells, how my cells work. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And all this time, I always thought, like I told my husband, I was like, dang, I feel like I get sick so much. And like, I feel like I fully never recover, right? I was like, I swear, like if I was one of those people during the Black Plague, I'd be the one to kill off our family. Actually, no, it's the quite opposite. My body would literally fight till the very end of not letting me get those things because any type of infection that I've had, I'll be honest with you, that's ever really made me sick has always been like a bacterial infection. So like strep. ear infections, pneumonia. My pneumonia was that I had it for months, okay? It was a bacterial and fungal infection, which is kind of ironic. I couldn't get rid of it. And it makes sense now because I don't deal well with antifungal medications. Hold on, guys. I got another knot. I'm going to pause you. I am so sorry about this. All right. So right here is where I had the half stitch. So what I did was a pin stitch over, under, like I did a pin stitch, and then I came back through. So I just did all that off screen so that way you can just keep stitching. I don't know what's going on today, but I feel like I'm having a little bit of a struggle on the back side, and I don't know what the deal is, but this canvas is nice, but at the same time, like, you know how I said once we have like too many threads in like one hole, like you see how I'm having a hard time finding the hole right here, and then like it gets loose. I don't know. It's just frustrating. Maybe it's just me today. Maybe after this I might just stop filming. I don't know. Because I'm getting frustrated. It's like it shouldn't be this difficult. And I feel like this canvas, it's a really pretty image, but I'm like, I don't know what it is with this canvas. Like I feel like it says it's an 11 count. Clearly it's an 11 count. I just don't know what the deal is with like the holes. Because if you like look at it, like, and my needle is a smaller needle, so I'm like, I don't understand why my holes are so tight. Like once I start putting thread into them, like you see how tight they are, and then they bunch up sometimes, and it's just like, it's frustrating is all. So I have to go at a slower pace on this canvas. Even though this canvas has a lot of color blocking, as you can see, it's taking forever because of the size of the holes. And again, this is an 11 count needle, so it's like, I don't understand. And if I go to a smaller needle, I'm going to have a hard time putting 3 threads in it. See, look, like right here, we're having a hard time. And then what happens is I'm fishing for the hole. Yeah, like this one, I really want to finish this image because it's pretty, but I might take it out of my rotation. I mean, I'll give it a couple more stitch with me's to see if I continue to have this issue. If so, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to be a project I'm never going to finish. Because, like, I shouldn't keep having the issues that I'm having with this particular canvas. And it's the more, and my concern is the more we get done on it, the harder it's going to be. So I don't know if it's the thread, I don't know if it's the canvas, I don't know what it is, but it's just like the more that you use the hole in the corner, right? Like see, it does fine when it's like as you're working it that way, but now that I had to fix this here, and it was just a headache. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's taking a lot longer than it needs to be because I have to be careful with like the holes. And like as you can see, the holes go in just fine. The thread and needle go in the hole just fine. Wow, it's kind of like maybe English is my second language today or something. But yeah, I'm a little bit stubborn. So, oh my goodness. And I've hit my hand, I don't even know how many times on that rail there. See, look, because now that I have to do this one, see how hard it is to get it into the right spot. I don't know. And see, look, right there. There's not very much room in the hole for me. And then mind you, I still have 2 more boxes, 2 more stitches in that particular hole that I have to do. Like, it's just very tight by the time it comes to that very last stitch, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know if it's my thread. Has anybody else had that kind of problem? Where it's like super tight? See? It's all good. We'll get this finished eventually. So then, like, when you do your first stitches, they come out really good, but then as you're going back, like, I don't know. I feel like it's because you're trying to find the hole, you're like trying to poke it through, and then it makes your stitches come out weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly critical of myself today. I just like my stuff being a certain way. That is all. Like I stitch full X's for a reason, if that makes sense, because I like the consistency it gives me. Yeah, I like the way they look. See, they look really good. And then when I pass over the second one, like when I go to do the next row, it's going to be hard. The next row is going to be hard on this side. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll just keep going. We might be a little bit slower, but we'll keep going. Maybe that's my thing with this canvas. I'll have to stitch a little bit slower with this one. I can stitch fairly fast two-handed on other canvases when they're in frames, but this one I feel like I'm not going to be able to do that. There we go. See, it goes through really well there. And then it's a little bit harder there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to go slow on this. So this project might take us like an eternity, guys. So if you don't have a geisha, go ahead and go find one because your girl's going to be working on this one for a minute. And we can do geisha stitch-alongs. Any geisha. Doesn't matter which one. Doesn't have to be this canvas. As long as you have one. See, look. By the time I get to that like fourth one of needing to use that hole a fourth time, that's when it gets a little, see, it gets a little wonky. I mean, it doesn't mess with my stitches too much. It just, I have to be careful is all. All right, I think since we finished this row, I might park my stitch here on the next one, and we'll work across and hopefully get this filled out next time. So let's park her. If I can get it in the hole. I feel like I say that a lot in my videos. All right, guys, let's wrap this up and then we'll have a chit chat at the end.
That concludes this week's Stitch With Me of our Geisha Canvas Week 4. I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. If you're one of my subscribers and you hung out till the very end, thank you. I really appreciate you watching my videos and chit-chatting in the comments with me. If you're not a subscriber and this is the type of content that you like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as I do daily Stitch With Me's as well as reviews, ASMR, tranquil type music Stitch With Me's as well. So if you're interested in those type of things, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to submit any type of work that you're working on to my Facebook group, you're more than welcome to follow the link in the description, answer some questions, and I'll add you to the group. If that's not your style and you rather just submit your images with your name, I do have my email address for viewer submissions down in the description box as well. If you want to follow me on other social media, such as TikTok or Instagram, my handler over there is stitching_with_Steph. So again, thank you very much for hanging out with me today for this Stitch With Me. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.